Tonight on the Goblin's Corner, Custom Magic Items Part 2.
Dungeoneering Non-essentials.
That's how we roll. 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 That's how we roll.
Welcome to the Goblin's Corner. My name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
And tonight,
We're doing Custom Magic Items Part 2.
that's right, Dungeoneering Non-essentials.
Indeed.
We did a custom magic items a couple episodes ago, and we just did some ridiculous magic items that are fun.
Sure.
We also taught you how to make custom magic items in a previous episode as well, so go look both of those episodes up. And tonight, backed by popular demand, and because we didn't have anything better to talk about, we are going to talk about custom magic items, the Dungeoneering Non-essentials, the stuff that you would bring into a dungeon, but you don't really need it, but it might be nice to have.
Right. And it's not that we didn't have better things to talk about. It's that we wanted to do this because it amused us.
Let's be honest. We love making stupid magic items.
That's fair.
I personally love making stupid magic items. Matt does too. You're going to get a kick out of these. Obviously, D&D flavor, but they can be for any game. We didn't write any mechanics behind most of these.
Nope.
I think one had a spell, but you can change it to whatever spell you want. So we're going to give these to you for free. Use them in your game, please. Tell us if you did, by the way.
Sure.
Because
we'd love to hear it.
I can't wait to see what happens when you use these in your game to freak your players out. But before we get to that,
We've got a question of the week.
all right, so
That's why it's called Question of the Week.
it's true. What do we got, man?
All right. Since we're doing Dungeon Non-essentials, let's talk about a dungeon essential.
Okay.
If you could have...
Now, wait, before we get to that, what would you consider to be an essential dungeon item?
So, like, you've seen my list.
Water is one, I would say.
Sure.
Rations.
Yeah.
And so things that you would bring into a dungeon that are just, of essential nature.
Right.
Got to have it or you're going to die.
Right. Oh,
Got
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant, like, what is my list of essentials? So I was like, well, that's
Sleeping bag, a room at the to the Hotel 6. That's...
I mean, that's a dungeon essential.
It
means you've got a room in your own dungeon.
That's very good. That's very true. And if you guys didn't get that joke, don't worry. We'll explain it to you later. Go ahead.
All right. If you could have one item that just didn't run out,
Anything at all.
it's got to be a mundane item.
Okay.
But any mundane item that you couldn't run out of while you were in your dungeon, what would you want to have?
I would say, if we're going to do something essential,
Mm-hmm. Got to be mundane.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to choose something, just a standard, dungeon standard, rope.
Okay.
I want a never-ending, ball of rope.
Sure.
Silk rope. Because if
That way it could be for the dungeon or for the dungeon.
That's what I'm saying. It could,
Yeah.
so you could either be, you could go styling, but either way, you get where you need to go, right? And you could be Spider-Man.
Sure.
Just endless amount of rope. Think about it. I don't care how deep that thing is. Goes to Middle Earth, no problem.
Yeah. Bottomless pit, bottomless rope.
Totally.
How you like me now?
Yeah. You never have to say you don't have enough rope. And of course, the movie Boondock Saints,
Sure.
little Charlie Bronson with their effing rope there. So that would be my personal item that's essential to me. What about you?
So I have a magic item that kind of alludes to this thought later, but mine would actually be chalk.
Just straight up chalk?
Just straight up chalk.
You can do a lot with chalk. You can draw.
Yes.
and I guess if you have a stomach ache, you can eat some of it.
It's true.
Don't eat chalk, by the way. There's better things to eat, but you can.
You can, yeah. But you can make maps with it.
True.
You can, literally any...
You can blow it in people's faces and...
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can use it to find invisible people.
Yeah, if your palms are sweaty and you meet a couple of orcs playing pool, you can be a pool shark. Get your...
It's good for mountain climbing.
That's also true. Yes, you can mountain climb
Get
better
your grip
with it.
on.
Yeah, get that grip on.
Or if you get into a gymnastics competition while you're in the dungeon, I don't know. They always chalk their hands too.
Have you ever been in a dungeon that happened to have a gymnastics competition going on as well? Write to us, info@goblinscorner.com, or you can reach me, eric@goblinscorner.com, or
me, Matt, @goblinscorner.com.
And of course, you may find us on all of the things.
I'm going to put an acrobatics competition in a city somewhere. Instead of, right, people always do fighting rings.
An acrobatics.
There's going to be a gymnastics
should be in a
competition
dungeon
from
too.
now.
I want to see a bunch of goblins doing acrobatics.
Sure.
That feats of strength with orcs, guys. You've got it's the Underdark Olympic Games. Holy shit, we've come up with something new.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Make the t-shirts, send us one. There you go. All right, let's get to the Dungeoneering Non-essentials.
All right. Well, first, why are we doing Dungeoneering Non-essentials?
That's a great question. And I'm sure everyone's like, why non-essentials? What do you mean by non-essentials? First off, we're talking items that provide just a little bit of flavor.
Right. And we love flavor. I think we've probably made that known by now, but we like to add nuance to our world.
If this is your first time listening or watching our podcast, you will note that we're very big on thematics and storyline. Why? Because nobody else is. And it's something that is important for your game. If anybody can teach you rules, we're trying to teach you how to run a game that gives you more flavor. And so flavor is definitely something that is considered to be essential in a non-essential.
Yes.
Now, what else we got?
Well, the second part of flavor is variety.
Sure.
It's the spice of life.
And magic items in many games, doesn't matter which one, it could be D&D, it could be other games as well. We won't, as you can see on the many books on the bookshelf, there are many different flavors and varieties of games. They tend to be fairly standard. Now, if you're like most people who play or run games, you will go out and buy all of the delightful third-party accessories that people wonderfully create. And let me tell you something. Big ups on everybody who is a third-party creator. I want to show you mad love.
Yeah.
Mad love. However, not everybody knows about that, and that's a damn shame.
That's true. But also, not everybody's got the wallet for it.
That's also true. Very true.
Especially, some of the younger people starting out.
Or maybe they have the wallet, but maybe they want to try making their own.
Right.
And so we are showing you guys how to make some non-essentials. Maybe you want to make some third-party stuff.
Sure.
Here's some examples of how you can do that. So variety is a good thing to have. Also, this is a wonderful way to introduce new PCs or new NPCs for that matter. So if you've got characters that want to come into the game, a crazy new magic item is a great way to introduce them.
Yeah.
They pop out of a magic hat, bam.
Or, if they're a magic user, let them create a magic item, especially if they're not starting at first level. Let them create a magic item, and that magic item is the introduction before the party actually runs into the character.
I think that's a delightful thing. NPCs are great for this as well. It gives a little bit of flavor to standard NPCs that you may have created through generators or just made up on your own.
Yeah.
It's something that is very simple to come up with that gives a lot of depth to story and character. Speaking of story.
Story hooks.
Yes.
I mean, it's attached to the above, right? So maybe the NPCs who make these curious magic items need help from the PCs. Maybe they're an employer that wants them to get stuff for them or to field test new toys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great way to just, make an NPC as both a plot hook and a employer.
It's also very possible that you could assign some sort of rarity to the items, and it might be a quest for the players to go seek out. Maybe they broke the original one. Or maybe they saw someone else have it and they're like, I gotta have that.
Yes.
How'd you get that? Well, I'm gonna have to go a kingdom over to get that thing, and it's in this dragon selling it at discount. Oh, really? Well, I better get there. So think about that.
Discount.
Yeah, quote unquote. It's never at a discount with the dragon, guys. Obviously, comedy is something that a non-essential should be.
Sorry, you set off the Shadowrun line in my head.
I would never deal with the dragon.
Conserve your ammo and never cut a deal with a dragon.
Look, he's got all kinds of merchandise at bargain basement prices. Chummer. All right, going back to what I said, comedy. Obviously.
Yeah.
Again, if you haven't listened to this show or watched it, we're all about the chuckles.
Yeah, have a good time.
Have a good time. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
And even if you're playing a serious campaign, moments of levity are necessity, because if everything's serious all the time, nothing is ever serious.
Mm-hmm. I agree with all of that. And finally, a little bit of realism, and I use that in air quotes here, realism, because if it goes on the if that is true, what else is true?
Sure.
If you are we're doing magic items, obviously. If you're in a world where magic exists, there is going to be someone who has just a random amount of objects running around. Like just running around.
Let's be honest. If you and I lived in a world where we could make magic items, we're making ludicrous.
We're going to be the Weasley brothers, man.
100%.
We're just not going to make candy. We might make candy. Also.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to be the Walmart of magic items. Welcome to Magic Mart. I am the co-owner and CEO, Eric.
Walmart. We're going to be the party
city.
Of
Sure.
Magic items.
A little hot topic thrown in there as
Sure.
well. Why not? Get a little action on that. It'd be definitely some fire sales going on as well. Literally some fire sales. You want to buy some fire? It just comes in a can. And look, this is some ointment that looks like a gelatinous cube. It gets all of the dirt off your body.
It does. It gets a lot of the body off your body if you're not careful.
Oh, that's another one. See? You guys can use that too. All right. So let's actually get to the magic items. So we have a list of, what is it? 10,
Like
12?
10, 12. Something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I lost count. We came up with a bunch of them. We literally wrote some of them 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Couple of them.
Because that's how it goes here.
You tell us which ones we wrote 10 minutes ago.
Ah, yes.
Some of these were written a week ago, and some of these are very, very fresh. Tell us which ones are the last minute ones.
Yeah. You can write to us on that one. I can't wait to see what people come up with. So you've got the first one here. I love this because I wrote one similar. We'll get to that later.
As we tend to do. Like last week.
It happens. But I love... So tell me about Professor Boggwater's Spider Botherer. So
what you do is you douse a target, right? You throw the bottle like a grenade.
Mm-hmm.
You douse a target for...
What is it? Is it like a bottle of something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And any spider in the vicinity will attack the doused target instead of you. It works on most giant spiders. It may not work out well on very intelligent spiders, and it occasionally works on some non-spider creatures, such as scorpions and other arachnids. That's up to the person running the game.
Let's be honest here. You're playing a game. There's not that many intelligent spiders that you're going to be facing, although there could be a couple.
There are a few. That's the reason I specified.
Which ones?
Well, if Loth pops up in her demon web form...
Right.
I don't want anybody to try and just absolutely get asinine with this. It is for monstrous spiders primarily.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is a good non-essential to have.
Yeah. If you're in a dungeon, there's a good chance there's going to be some spiders.
Come up against an arachnomancer, maybe?
Yeah. Or if there's a giant spider and a bunch of medium spiders, you douse the giant spider. And then all the medium spiders have to attack
the giant spider. Hey, that's using your noggin there, buddy. I love
tactics action there.
Yeah. You're welcome on that, guys. I didn't think about that one. So that's cool. All right. So it's just like a grenade-like weapon you throw. Very easy. Could be made with an alchemist kit, maybe.
Sure.
I mean, while we say it's a custom magic item, but this could easily be some kind of alchemist pheromone type of thing. So you could use it in a Pathfinder game. You could use it in a D&D game.
Yeah.
You could use it in
Shadowrun,
yeah. Some crazy scientist created this, so we can adapt some of these for fun and profit.
Sure. What do you got next? The Scroll of Distraction.
Yeah. So this is a minor magic item, I would say, and I have a description with it. It's an 8.5-inch scroll with minute perforations in multiple angles, as well as a handy picture instruction in Draconic. It's a scroll, little, areas to fold. Following the instructions allow the user to fold it like a paper airplane, or a paper bird, or a swan, or a flump, or whatever's appropriate
to the setting, or just in general,
or just honestly, I want to see someone fold a paper flump.
Sure.
So anything that flies, basically.
If you're really good at origami, we want to see a paper flump.
Oh, yeah. Happen. Show us a paper flump. That'd be awesome. Once the scroll of distraction is folded, the user can toss the paper airplane where it flies up to 60 feet, which is actually better than most, screaming the entire way. So basically, you fold this thing up. You need a distraction, right? You fold it up. There's a monster around the corner. You toss it. It just as it flies. The scream can be heard up to 300 feet away and is blood-curdling. And that's it. Once it lands, it's done. So imagine you pull out a piece of paper, scroll, you fold it up, toss it, it just starts screaming, and the denizens in the dungeon are freaking out. What the hell is that? Og and Cog grab their axe, and the orcs stomp off after it because they can't believe what that is. They start attacking it, and you sneak by.
You know what I would do? I would save this for a non-dungeon. I would save this for breaking into a castle.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sneak up on the castle, I'd fold it up, and I'd throw it down over the outside wall. So it sounded like somebody fell off the top of the castle, and they'd have to go investigate.
That's smart. I like that. That's great. So there you go. A scroll of distraction. Very easy. Very simple. I think I came up with this in a few minutes. You have... This is definitely a non-essential, but you know what? This is 100% flavor.
Yeah.
And I mean that in more ways than one. So tell us about your next magic item.
This is Brocephus's Icker Liquor.
Brocephus?
Yes.
I like that.
This is a powder.
Mm-hmm.
It can be added to any container that contains ichor from a creature.
Okay.
Right? The powder then transforms it into booze. And the type of booze and the flavor of booze is dependent on the creature.
So let me get this straight. You roll into a dungeon, there's a beholder. You slay the beholder.
Yeah.
He's bleeding everywhere because beholders are large creatures.
Sure.
They're big balls of flesh.
Yeah.
And it, you stab it in the central eye.
You ever bit your tongue really hard? They bleed.
A lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The tongue. They got giant tongues.
Yeah.
So it's just nothing but blood everywhere. And you scoop some of this up because you're like, man, I want to drink after this. I just killed a beholder. I deserve it. It's Miller time. So you scoop up the ichor and it turns it into booze.
Yes.
That's genius.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just like, you know what? I've seen some terrible things today. But I can forget them if I drink enough.
You know what would be amazing is a bunch of alcoholic wizards.
Sure.
That have the Brocephus Icker Liquor bar. Yes.
Yes.
And they just run through the dungeon, killing random monsters for different beer flavors or liquor flavors.
Yeah.
And then they reverse engineer them after the fact.
To try and figure out how to make something that tastes like that?
Or they have developed a spell to duplicate whatever liquor that is in that.
Transmute liquid. It used to be a spell.
It's true. It did used to be a spell. It was a great spell.
It was. But yeah, I actually came up with that. I was like, what would I do with this? I'd open a bar. Let's be honest. That's exactly what I would do with it.
Okay.
But this gives a chance for both you as a player or you as a DM to have a lot of fun. Because as a DM, I might ask you, so this is Minotaur. What does Minotaur booze taste like?
Mm-hmm.
Or this could be just a chance for the players to put their DM on the spot and be like, man, what's something really freaking weird?
That's awesome.
I mean, I am pretty sure that flumps are cotton candy vodka.
Yeah. But are you going to bleed out a flump?
I'm not.
No, you're going to hell if you bleed out a poor little guy. We like flumps.
I'm not. I'm just glad they finally made it back.
I bet they're delicious, though. I'm just saying. You're going to hell if you kill a flump, but if you do kill the flump, I bet it's delicious.
It's going to taste like Mama's homemade spaghetti.
Like mushrooms and cotton candy.
I don't know about that combination,
I don't know about
man.
that. Look, I'm just saying things at this point. All right, let's get to the next magic item here. So,
all right. This one's from you. It's a depth rock.
Yeah, this is all right. So part of this is me being an asshole.
Okay.
I'm just gonna straight up say,
I've met you. It's fine.
Some magic items, much like many of the custom spells I create, might have a potential detriment. Let's see if you can figure it out. This smooth, almost frictionless rock is undecorated with the exception of a central area displaying a numeric depth for your mine shaft. Upon throwing the rock, the depth rock activates and accurately records the distance it falls until it comes to rest, presumably at the bottom of a chasm.
Mm-hmm.
The frictionless nature of the rock allows it to clear any particular obstructions on its way to the bottom of the chasm, and the glowing numbers on its central face allow for easy reading for whomever braves the depths to retrieve the rock. So
see, what happened was...
So you can't actually...
use it?
I mean, you can use it, but you can't tie a rope to it.
But
because it's almost frictionless.
But you can put it in a net.
Oh. I'm silently clapping because I don't want to blow out the mic.
Yeah.
I'm golf clapping for him. Well done. Well done. See, this man is a problem solver.
In fact.
Yeah, I might be the world builder. This is the world breaker standing next to me. Okay, cool. So yeah, so it's kind of an asshole thing, but you've already solved it. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
And
you can edit it out later.
You can also use it for other things too. So maybe you're a stonemason and you need to accurately figure out how tall this wall is. You climb up to the top of the wall and drop it.
Yeah.
There you go. Hits the bottom. It's 45.7 feet.
Yeah. We promised precisely 100 feet. This needs to be precisely 100 feet.
Yep. So it can be useful as well. You have an interesting one. It's Anti-Theodorus Toolbox.
Yeah.
And I love everything this is about.
It's an empty toolbox
Mm-hmm.
that can create any kind of toolkit for half the price.
Okay. So you feed it money?
Yes.
Okay.
Or gems.
Okay.
It's not picky.
Just something of value.
Yes. However, the kit lasts only 8 hours
Mm-hmm.
and is obviously conjured, making it difficult to sell. So you can't just make half-price thieves' kit.
And then sell the half-price thieves'
right.
kit for full price. Gotcha. So it's not a money machine.
Right. It does, however, save a great deal of space and weight for people who are attempting to travel light.
So those of you who use encumbrance rules or some type of weight rules,
yeah,
this would be very useful.
Or if you just use the common sense rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a bard that has multiple performances, they have to keep all of those instruments.
Sure.
But they also have multiple kit uses also. Okay, at some point in time, we don't really play with encumbrance, but we do play with common sense.
Yeah, we use the, okay, this is ridiculous rule.
Right. This is not EverQuest. There's not 1,000 bags which mysteriously hold so much crap, unless you've got a bag of holding.
Very true.
In which case, there is in fact a bag that does that.
Yeah.
But this just prevents you from having to carry a whole bunch of stuff, or it gives you tools that you don't actually normally need, right? If you're not a stonemason, you're not going to carry around stonemason's tools.
And there's a lot of other tools that you could also, I would allow for this. So, gambling set.
Sure. I would honestly allow
any tool.
Yeah. And I would allow musical instruments.
Last what, 8 hours?
8 hours.
Yeah. So I would say two things. First, it needs to have teeth, and it has to like noisily chew the money that you give it.
Okay. Sure.
I just think that would be hilarious.
I'm okay with that.
And then secondly, when you say obviously magically created, it should be gaudy, like ridiculously. I think the DM should be encouraged to maybe each time it's a different style or something like that. Something fun, kind of flavor-wise for that.
Sure. Like it's teenage bedazzled, glows slightly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's got like a Glamour Shots look for the toolkit.
Sure.
So that's lots of fun. And again, useful. Again, dealing with weight.
Yeah.
Potentially can create any type of tool or toolkit. I think that's also really cool.
And it's an empty toolbox.
Yep.
So
you can store stuff in it, potentially, unless it eats it.
If you do not store money in it.
No.
That's a terrible
You
idea.
do, just for a few seconds.
Yes. And if you don't specify me as a GM, if you're not thinking about it and you just shove the money in there, it's just going to start spitting out tools. But yeah, it's just going to keep spitting out random tools. And depending on how much money you put in there, unthinkingly, it's going to be spitting out a lot of tools.
Sounds great.
So up next, what you got for me?
We have a similar type of Icker-based ointment type thing that you came up with in the beginning. Now, you had the spider
botherer.
Spider botherer. I have rust monster bait.
Okay.
This is a metallic-looking goo which contains concentrated pheromones from male and female rust monsters in heat, which, if you're curious, I gave a brief description, smells like someone masturbated with an iron pipe.
Okay.
Upon applying, and I would not recommend the adventurers apply it to themselves, but upon applying it to either a surface or another creature, it attracts all rust monsters within a 10-mile radius over the course of 1 hour. The rust monsters are frenzied and horny upon arrival. Now, this has the potential to be awesome. We've got this iron door we've got to get through. The drow they've walled themselves in. We're in for a long siege. Don't worry. I've got the solution.
I've got the answer.
Everybody back up and put all of your metallic weapons in your backpacks. And just apply that. All of a sudden, this just stampede of horny rust monster shows. Dum 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 dum. And they just wreck that thing.
Oh yeah. And whatever is behind the door, if they've got a whole bunch of metal and aren't expecting an army of rust monsters, it's a bad day.
Now, if you are a rogue and you're fighting an iron golem and you are an especially sneaky rogue, you just say, guys, I got this. You go up, dab, 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 take off. You guys just give it an hour.
We're just gonna hang out.
We're just gonna hang out, guys. It'll be fun. Don't worry, we'll get past this and everything else.
Hey, Mage, I want you to be ready to put up Leomund's hut.
Yes, absolutely.
You just go, slather it on the iron golem, dive in the hut, and just call it a day.
All right. So we've got more wonderful dungeon non-essentials, but we'll be right back.
After these messages.
Bum, bum.
You with the face. Do you like what we have to say?
Help our channel rise from the depths like the mighty Godzilla.
Please like and subscribe and ring the bell and do all of the necessary YouTube.
What he said.
This is a commercial break. If you guys would like to hear us review something like a product or service, or if you'd like us to cover something like a topic,
or if you'd like to sponsor an episode, we'd love to hear from you and have you contact us at info@goblinscorner.com.
so write to us and maybe we'll talk to you. Maybe not. And we're back.
Welcome back.
All right, so we've been talking about magic items, custom magic items part 2.
Yes. Dungeon non-essentials.
Non-essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that in the gravelly voice. Dungeon.
Dungeon non-essentials.
Oh, very nice. Should introduce movies. And we've got 6 more for you.
I'm willing to take that job if somebody will let me.
Me too. Tonight, for one night only. Okay, so let's get to a couple of extra dungeon non-essential magic items that you've come up with. I love this one. This is actually a magic item, but it's an accompaniment to an existing magic item.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me what you got.
So Nolzer,
Mhm.
he is, or she, I don't think they ever get into it.
They don't.
Okay. They are well known for their marvelous pigments.
It's true. You can make all kinds of wonderful things with them.
Yes. However, what I think they need is a paintbrush. So I've invented Nolzer's marvelous paintbrush.
Wonderful.
When the command word is spoken, which is often Eureka or inspiration, a color is then named and pictured in the mind of the brush holder.
Everyone, don't think pink. Now everyone that's listening is thinking pink.
Right. I'm probably true for most people.
Yeah.
The brush continues to provide paint in that color until the activation word is spoken again and a new color is specified, or the painter sets the brush down, which then turns off the paint flow.
So it really just makes paint.
Yes.
It's a paintbrush that makes paint.
Yes.
That can have a lot of fun uses.
Sure.
It's not super powered.
No.
I could see that in a dungeon. Better than chalk.
It's better than chalk because it comes in every color.
Sure. That's very neat.
And if you're a cheatery bastard,
Dark vision paint.
Sure.
That's
absolutely.
what I was. Yeah, I know where your head's at. I saw the you started to furrow your brow, and you're like, I'm going to say something that's really going to blow people's brains. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Thank you.
There's a lot of uses for that as well with just role-playing opportunities too.
Sure. Especially if you've got a character that can paint, then your whole world just got so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you can paint anything in any color.
Now we should follow that up with Nilzir's paint thinner.
Sure.
It's like what is it? Universal solvent.
Yeah. But only for paint.
But only for what? It could be for whatever you want. Maybe it dissolves illusions. Or conjured creatures. That'd be kind of cool.
Sure. Just deconjures them.
Yeah, something to think about.
Put it in a little spritz bottle. Somebody summons a hellcat. Bad kitty. Psst, psst.
There you go. Now it's gone.
All right. Tell me what you got next.
As I've mentioned, I've been divinely inspired. I've come up with a magic item. This is I'd say medium powered on this one, but there's accompaniments to it as well. It's
medium powered if you get the regalia.
It is ridiculously fun, though. I call this the Mask of Steve.
Okay.
Now, those of you who understand a hat of disguise may notice that this is very similar, but this is a bit different. This is created by the renowned transmuter Steve the Unrememberable. Yeah, that's right. Figure that one out.
He's renowned.
But he's unrememberable.
Okay.
It is a thin leather mask which magically fits to the contours of the wearer's face. You stick it on it.
That's convenient.
Yeah, well, that's magic, right?
Sure.
Upon activation, the wearer's face physically transforms into a particular species, particularly the one the individual is currently surrounded by. So, whatever they're most surrounded with, be it elithids, a whole host of halflings, orcs, or a group of ducks.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what his or her face transforms into, straight up.
Okay. And it physically transforms. So this is transmutation.
That's right.
Not illusion.
This is not illusion. This is physical transformation.
Hence the renowned transmuter. See, I already forgot that part.
Well, he's very unrememberable.
Indeed.
It is only the face which transforms, though. So you're kind of out of luck otherwise.
So you're just a dude with a duck face walking around?
If you happen to be in a group of ducks, then yes. Additionally, though, a secondary enchantment provides the wearer of the Mask of Steve to appear to be as unremarkable a member of the species as possible. So you're just that guy. Or
rando duck.
You're just rando person. You become, what is it, the term, like the gray man?
Yeah.
You just a face that everybody immediately forgets. So great role-playing opportunities, potential strategic opportunities as well, particularly for like a spy.
Yeah. What is the, there's actually a stat for that in Mage. Is it Arcana? It's the one that makes you forgettable.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. So the Mask of Steve physically transforms the features of the wearer, and of course, it's got that bonus enchantment. It stands up to most typical inspections because you can touch and feel it and stuff like that, which
sure.
Can't do with illusions. Like you get a chance to maybe figure out that that's an illusion. This is a physical change. Depending upon how different the rest of the wearer's body is to the creature you're changing into. Obviously, if you're an illithid and you come up and look at the illithid's face, and then the rest of the body is human, the illithid's going to be like, well, there might be something here that's a little suspect.
I'm gonna need to eat that thing's brain to make sure.
Yeah, we better do a taste test for that. Along with a crafty disguise, though, for the body, an additional bonus may be appropriate depending upon the social situation you're trying to infiltrate.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, the Mask of Steve is not the only magical creation that exists. Other magical objects of Steve include the breastplate of Steve, the leggings of Steve, the gauntlets of Steve, and the codpiece of Steve.
All right.
And some people purchase just the codpiece of Steve.
I'm certain of it.
Okay. So
that's how half-dragons happen.
there you go. See? You ever wonder how they make baby half-dragons? Now you know.
Let's face it. A good 73% of warlocks have the codpiece.
Of Steve?
Yes.
Yeah, and most bards.
Yep.
All bards? Does it just come when you get your loot and your codpiece of Steve?
You graduate Bardic College and they hand you a diploma, a loot, and a codpiece.
There you go. It's magically will change your genitals into whatever's you're nearby. Okay, so you've got another magic item as well. It is Hamlisch's Paisley Hammock for 6.
Indeed.
Tell me of this.
Well, Hamlisch the Paisley, he's a renowned party mage.
It's true. We mentioned Hamlisch the Paisley mage before, in fact.
Yes. He's in the custom spells.
That's right. He came up with, what is it, the Paisley Ball?
Yeah. He created these surprisingly light and large hammocks, ostensibly for safety while traveling, as the pattern confuses and upsets most low-intelligence creatures, sending even fierce predators packing. However, they saw far more use at his estate as tryst-friendly furniture.
Okay.
It is a hammock built for 6.
Ah. So an orgy hammock.
I mean, if you call 6 people
with
an orgy.
crazy patterns.
Sure.
All right.
Because it keeps things from interrupting.
Oh, I get it. Dog's never going to jump in the hammock.
Nope.
Makes him go crazy.
Yep.
Potentially useful for dungeoneering.
Yes, because
and really close adventuring parties.
Very close.
Very
Indeed.
close. I love that.
Adventuring parties of soon. Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean,
Charest. Yeah, there's a couple.
Brings a whole new meaning to adventuring.
Indeed.
And potentially dungeoneering.
Fair. And if you bring the codpiece of Steve with you,
there you go.
You can make sure it always works out.
We've got a whole set of just ridiculous items here for
completely unintentionally.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yep.
All right, let's move on here.
All right, this one's all you, man.
All right. So I have what are called the ghost peppers of poison resistance. And I would almost say poison immunity, but
kinda. Yeah.
But we'll see why. So they are ghost peppers.
Mm-hmm.
These are delicate, spicy peppers, which are open at both ends to allow the passage of air into and out of the ghost peppers.
Okay, so
they're hollow.
Yeah, like a ghost pepper flute.
Sort of.
Tiny little.
They're tiny little ghost peppers. Yeah. They got a little airflow on either side. Sticking the ghost peppers of poison resistance into the wearer's nostrils gives the wearer complete immunity to inhaled poisons at the modest cost of 1 point of fire damage per round. Because they're ghost peppers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You notice I love magic items with slight detriment?
I'm aware.
These ghost peppers last for about 8 hours of use, and that could be off and on or the whole time, and provide a secondary side effect of rendering the user incapable of smelling for the duration of their use. Because you've got ghost peppers burning your nostrils.
Absolutely.
Additionally, the wearer may violently eject the ghost peppers of poison resistance out of their nostrils by blowing out, causing the peppers to ignite and simulating the effects and damage of, say, a burning hand spell or fireball, whatever game you happen to be playing. But let's just say burning hands for D&D.
Some fire effect that your DM agrees to.
So you snort out, they catch fire, they just make a flamethrower. The peppers are consumed in this ejection, as are any nose hairs of the wearer.
I mean, clearly.
Because you just blew them out.
Yeah.
So lots of flavor, absolutely ridiculous.
Hey, yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
They are of benefit. Now, think about this in a combat. First off, halflings are going to use these. I totally see the halfling thief with ghost peppers of poison. You can see it, can't you? He's got his hair just kind of poked up like this, And
I mean, it wasn't before he stuck him in his nose, but it is now.
he rolls up on a green dragon. The green dragon just gets ready to breathe that chlorine gas, right? He just shoves them up his nostrils,
flips him off.
His nose turns bright red. He starts sweating, taking a point of fire damage, and he just walks in the poisonous fog like, this ain't.
And what
you got? And then he ejects them out of his nostrils and burns the tip of the dragon's nose.
Sure.
That's a badass halfling right there.
It's true.
That's gonna be my halfling.
Probably should have kept him in for the rest of the fight.
Look, it's a halfling. All right, what do you expect? All right, let's move on here. You've got a wonderful. This is ridiculous.
And
so I want you to explain this magical item.
All right, this is Arcanist Mungbean's Creature Cataloger. So what you have is this homunculus.
Okay.
Right? It's got a multi-tool in one hand, and it's got a pen with a pad that sits underneath it for the other hand.
Okay.
Whenever you kill a creature,
okay,
it then dissects it, tears it apart, and tells you the most efficient way to kill the creature.
That's potentially useful and useless at the same time. Now, I think this is wonderful, because not very many mechanical benefits to this, although I would say it might provide a bonus on the next time you kill something.
Sure.
So, Party of Adventurers rolls in. They encounter X monster, right? Let's just say, I don't know, give me something. Ogre.
Sure.
An ogre. They encounter an ogre. Ogre's raging, jumps in. The party managed to slay it. They beat it to death or what have you.
Yeah.
They're standing over the corpse. The paladin's healing everybody and looking very pristine in his armor.
Sure.
Because he hasn't started to sink into the mire yet of the swamp.
Well, or he's got the spell up. He's talked to Ludwig and
he's got Ludwig's luxurious locks.
No, that's just for the hair.
Ludwig's
impeccability.
Impeccability? Yes. Of course he does.
Because it's a pally.
I
feel like that's.
He doesn't want to walk around cleaning his armor. He's got to have it pristine.
Exactly.
It's got to look good. Got to look good. So they're standing around on this dead corpse, and this homunculus pops out, starts dissecting everything, sketching out, and says, "Wait, you guys did a right terrible job of this. Here's how you're supposed to kill this thing." And everybody takes notes.
Yeah. Can't you tell by where the spleen is that you missed it with every stab? What are you, your adventurers?
The homunculus has to be an asshole.
Yeah.
It just has to be. It has to sound like an asshole professor.
It's going to like draw pictures of every sword cut and how you missed just completely illogically. You managed to miss every major organ each time.
Yep. It sketches everything out and then it marks everything up afterwards in red ink.
I was just thinking it grades it.
Yes. Absolutely should grade it. And the highest praise you can ever receive if it said, nice marks. Like you actually killed something appropriately.
Right.
And that's when you roll the natural 20.
Sure.
I love this. This is a great flavor item. Potential bonus, not a very big one. Doesn't break the game at all.
Yeah.
But what a great, honestly, a great NPC magic item for this too.
What I would do is for any creature that doesn't have weaknesses or vulnerabilities, then I would say, like, take the ogre, for example, right? Just an ogre.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have weaknesses, doesn't have vulnerabilities. Basically, he should be like, well, you should have tried to control his mind, attack his wisdom or intelligence.
You've got a wizard and you didn't use this.
Right. And then
it's going to sound like our friend Jim the whole time.
Yeah.
What you should have done is the following. We love you, Jim.
It's true. Or it gives, for any completely mundane type critter, it just gives you a +1 point of damage in the next encounter.
Yeah.
Each person, anytime they hit it with something, they get an extra point of damage.
What a great magic item for someone who maybe plays a scholar or an assassin. Maybe a new assassin. Think about it.
Yeah, their uncle, the artificer, made it for them.
Not everybody starts off as a badass, right? You gotta learn how to kill things.
Yeah.
You start off maybe just being able to kill small things, and you've got this This little homunculus that trudges along and teaches you how to kill things better.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be Artemis and Trary, guys. You got to start off as little Art. Little Artie.
Artie. Yeah,
Little Artie. Little Artie Inty. Artie Inty. So, awesome. We got one more magic item.
This one's yours.
And this one is called the Dwarven Auto Pick.
Okay.
Crafted long ago by skilled Dwarven arcanists, and I would also say alcoholics, the Dwarven Auto Pick appears as a large mining pick, complete with a sturdy set of metal legs, shaped like dwarf legs, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the body is a large keg.
Sure.
So, pick, keg, legs.
Right.
It is an auto pick.
Sure.
Several gears on the back of the keg will adjust the pitch, direction, and length for the mining device.
Okay.
The keg itself can hold up to 10 gallons of liquid, specifically beer or liquor.
Sure.
Or we'll say ale as well.
Yeah.
Which it uses to fuel the power of the mining pick.
Makes sense.
So it's a booze-fueled mining pick. Of course dwarves will come up with this. Think elves are going to come up with something like that? No. A dwarven auto pick can dig a 5-foot cube of stone every 8 hours, every shift. So it's a 5-foot by 5-foot by 5-foot cube.
Okay.
Through stone.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, that's slightly less than what a series of dwarves or a dwarf can do in, I think, 2nd edition had rules for stuff like that.
I don't know.
You can adjust that as you feel to your game.
So the way I would adjust it is the proof of the liquor determines the amount of work done.
It's funny you should mention the liquor, because depending upon the type of spirit you enter into the dwarven auto pick, may determine if some shenanigans happen.
Shenanigans.
Yes, let us continue. Right now, the dwarven auto pick, as I mentioned, can dig a 5-foot cube every 8 hours, so every shift.
Sure.
And it consumes beer at a rate of 1 gallon per hour. So 10 gallons, you're left with 2 gallons at the end of the evening per shift.
Sure.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
However, you mentioned spirits. The auto pick can be fueled with dwarven spirits or something stronger if you like. But there is a 10% chance every time you do that for the pick to either go berserk, start attacking people, explode, maybe start tapping a merry dwarven tune with the pick, or something equally ridiculous. And I would advise storytellers to go as crazy as you feel like it.
Sure.
Madness and shenanigans ensue. Now, I like where you're going with it should run faster according to the higher proof.
Right.
We can even, if you wish to adjust this, the higher the proof, the more of the chance it to go mad.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Maybe half it. So 80 proof, 40% chance that it goes completely crazy. 120 proof, it's a 60% chance it goes completely crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Half of the proof, right?
Yep. So basically, it's percentage.
Yeah. I think this would be delightful. And think about it, because it's just basically a beer keg with legs and a pick.
Right.
So it's just mining along. You know, it's just chugging on beer. It's done a couple hours in. You're like, man, this needs to go faster. Well, what about the ramifications? Don't tell me about the ramifications. I've given it all she's got, Captain. They pour in some dwarven ale, and the damn thing just goes crazy, starts killing everybody.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug.
It's dancing a cheery little jig the whole time.
While murdering.
While murdering everybody.
I'm with that. I think that's the way to do it. So basically, we start off at, let's say, anything up to 10% is a 0% chance.
Yep.
Right? Because beer is usually under 10%.
Usually.
And then anything over that, you just get your alcohol percentage equals your shenanigans percentage.
I like that.
So I think that's fair.
I think you give it something really strong, it becomes alive, self-aware. It goes off and does what other intelligent constructs do.
Whatever it wants.
That's right. So there you have it. 12 magic items, Dungeoneering Non-essentials for your campaign. Was there something that you enjoyed? Write to us. info@goblinscorner.com, or you may reach me, Eric, at goblinscorner.com, or
Me, Matt at goblinscorner.com.
we're on all of the things. We have a Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
a Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest,
Mm-hmm.
a YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
a Twitch.
Mm-hmm. And on all of those things, we're Goblin's Corner,
That's right. And then we have Instagram,
wherein we are the Goblin's Corner.
and depending upon how the mighty algorithm depicts us, we might move to something else as well in the next few months.
Sure.
You want to do TikTok? Let's not do TikTok.
I think our format is probably a little long for TikTok.
Should we do TikTok? Write to us. Let us know. I'll do a TikTok.
I mean,
I'll sing a sea shanty.
sure.
That'd be the last TikTok we ever do. Do you like our show? Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite player, YouTube or Twitch.
Make sure you give us the whole 5 stars, a review. We we get warm and fuzzies, and it helps boost the show for other people to discover.
That's right. So you can review us on iTunes or Podchaser and
Mhm.
probably some other places.
I'm sure.
YouTube.
Well, YouTube definitely. But if you're going to do YouTube, you got to do the whole
Like, subscribe, hit the bell,
Yep.
all that jazz.
comment. Actually helps with the algorithm as well. So if you'd like to toss a comment at us, we'd love to hear it.
Sure. And of course, you may find all of this stuff on goblinscorner.com, where you may listen either directly from the site or buy some delightful merch through T Public.
And read some articles occasionally.
That is true. We have articles up as well. That's all the time we have for tonight. Once again, my name is Eric.
And I'm Matt.
We'll see you next time.
Good night, folks.
The Goblin's Corner is written and produced by Eric Holden and Matt Staples. Show song by the mighty D20. Don't we love that guy?
Sure.
This is a Subterranean production.